Umar's natal chart breakdown. Let's get right into it. Well, it's really not a natal chart breakdown because I'm not even breaking down his whole chart because one, I don't even have his time of birth. I just had his date of birth. That's all I needed because I already see everything that I needed to see, and I'm gonna break it down to y'all and explain what I'm talking about. And before I even put in his time of birth, before I even looked at his planets, I was having a discussion with a few people that I know, and I told them, when a story first came out, and everybody was doing their videos and saying whatever they needed to say about Dr. Umar, and he did that video talking about whatever whoop 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 whoop. I said to them, I said, I guarantee y'all, that man has Mars squaring Neptune, and guess what? Boom, I was right on the money. Virgo Mars, right there. Boom, y'all see it? Squaring his Neptune. Not only does he have Mars squaring his Neptune, he has his Leo sun at the 28 degrees, next to his Virgo Mercury, squaring his Neptune also. Lord bless it. Now, a few months ago, I did a video uh, on my top five. Now there's several different red flags that you can see in a man's natal chart that screams run bitch run. But I just chose like my top five. And in one of my videos that I did, my top five red flags in a man's natal chart, he has literally three, four of them, probably all five. When a woman come to me, if you my friend, you don't even have to be my friend. I'm just talking about girls looking out for girls. Use my friend, home girl, somebody I work with, a client or whatever, and you come to me and you tell me look at your dude chart, and I see this bullshit right here, this right here, this Sun, Mercury, Mars, squaring the Neptune. I'm going to tell you to run because that is one of my deal breakers. Ladies, this is a deal breaker. Y'all see my wine because it's getting lost, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. This aspect right here, and I'm going to break it down for y'all, and I may have to do a two-part, maybe even three-part, however long it takes, because I need y'all to understand what I'm about to say to y'all about this aspect, because Dr. Umar not the only motherfucker out there with this aspect. There's a whole lot of men out here with this type of aspect. All right, so y'all really need to pay attention to this. Now, I said in my previous videos that this type of aspect right here is a deal breaker in a natal chart. So if you are dealing with a man or have I and I'm gonna be all the way, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I have dealt with a man that had this aspect, so I know from personal experience the type of manifestation that comes with this aspect. But just from hundreds of charts that I've looked at and hundreds of charts that I've broken down, this aspect right here, and I'm not just talking about the sun and the Mercury squaring Neptune, just the Mars squaring Neptune aspect alone right there in itself, ladies, that is a deal breaker. And I would tell you to run. I would tell you to leave that man alone. Now, of course, you do what you want to do. You got your own lessons to learn. But if you come to me for a reading, a consultation, or advice, and I see this bullshit in a man chart, I'm going to tell you to leave him the fuck alone. All right. So also, I wanted to point out this moon next to his Uranus. Y'all see that right there? He has a Libra moon. He also has Libra Pluto, but he has also loosely conjunct moon Uranus and Libra, right? That is linked to him wanting to have multiple wives because the moon is the wife in a man's natal chart. And Uranus next to the moon, this can give him that this can give someone Neptune is linked to strange, unusual, unorthodox surprises, the unexpected. Um, him having a type of wife that can be, strange, unusual, or full of surprises. So, with and then with his moon squaring his, let me show you guys his moon right here, the moon Uranus squaring his Saturn in Cancer, because Cancer represents women and it's in Saturn, and it's squaring that moon and that Uranus again. That is linked to him wanting to have multiple wives, and he is into Ifa. So that tradition, that religion, they definitely believe in having multiple wives. Now let me put a pause in it right real quick before I get into the other aspects. Let me just explain something to you ladies real quick, all right? And I need y'all to understand what I'm about to say. For these men, because he is definitely set up for poly. I will say that this is in him. So if for women that are into men like this, if you know a man that has this aspect in their chart, beware, because they definitely are set up for poly. These type of men with this Saturn in Cancer, because Saturn, like I said, Saturn rules, I'm not sorry, Cancer rules women, and the moon rules the wife, and Uranus next to that moon. If you see somebody that have this aspect right here, please don't try to change them. Please don't try to tame them. This is who they are. This is in them. And let me tell y'all something about men that are poly, especially American men that are poly. Poly men, poly relationships, that ain't nothing but some new age pimping. That's all poly is. Poly ain't nothing but some new age pimping, first and foremost. Second of all, real poly relationships, real polyamorous relationships requires you to have multiple wives. Keyword wives, not a wife and a girlfriend, not a wife and a mistress, not a wife and a bunch of girlfriends. Wives, that's two. Three, it requires you to be able to provide the natural and acceptable resources that each wife needs. That means that you got to have enough fucking money to be able to take care of however many wives you take on, whether that's 2 wives, 5 wives. You need to be able to take care of all them wives equally and fairly. You understand what I'm saying? Another thing about being poly and having multiple wives is illegal in this country. So you can't even have multiple wives in this country. So for the men that say they poly and they got multiple women, they got multiple wives, they might have one wife and a side chick. They might have a wife and a few girlfriends. But trust and believe, that man has one wife and one wife only. You cannot have multiple wives in this country. It's illegal. Okay? So if you okay with being a man's mistress or side chick or whatever that come with, then that's your business. But a man cannot have more than one wife in this country. Okay? So if you're gonna be poly, just know that you're gonna be on the short end of the stick or the long end of the stick. You just gotta choose. You're gonna be the wife or you're gonna be the other. Because legally, he can only have one wife. Now, if you want to have multiple wives, then you need to take your motherfucking ass over there to another country, one of them African countries or one of them Muslim countries, where they are legally, when they can legally take on multiple wives. And it is tradition and it is culture for a man to not only have multiple wives, but have enough money and resources to be able to provide for all of them wives. So I just wanted to break that part down for y'all so y'all can understand, for the goofies out there that just that's with a man, and these men coming to y'all talking about they poly, they want to be poly, whatever bullshit they trying to say y'all, this new age pimping shit they trying to say y'all. It's some bullshit. Don't fall for it. They just want a reason to cheat or to have multiple girlfriends. Do it in peace so they don't have to lie to you and hurt you or whatever the case may be. Anyway, whatever you do with your business, I just wanted to break that down so you guys can understand where I'm going with this next. I'm done with that. I'm off of that. I'm gonna leave it here for now. Stay tuned for part 2, you guys. Dr. Umar's natal chart breakdown part 2. Let's get into it. All right, so let's break down this Virgo Mars squaring his Sag and Neptune aspect real quick. Okay, so real quick, what is Mars? Briefly, Mars is linked to our SMEX drive. Mars is how we take action. Mars is our willpower. Mars is our drive. Mars is our body. Mars is our identity. And it rules your name. Mars also in a man's chart, it can tell you what type of wood he got, what type of wood he working with in the bedroom. Now, with his Mars and Virgo sextile, his Pluto in Libra, that right there alone tell me he not might be, he a little hoe. He got a little hoe in him. And with it also closely conjuncting his Mercury in Virgo and his Leo sun, he probably like to get head. I ain't gonna hold y'all. He probably love to get head. He probably gives some good head too. He probably got some good wood. He ain't my type now. Dr. Umar is nowhere near my type. I did look at like, any astrologers out there. Sometimes when you're looking at certain people's natal charts, and sometimes you look at, you know, y'all synastry to see, okay, can I be friends with this person? Can I be in a relationship with this person or whatever, whatever. And I looked at like some of his planets. I'm like, okay, we both Leos, so we'll get along right there. We'll click right there. His Virgo Mars would conjunct my Virgo Venus. But anything with, anytime you have a conjuncts can always, the energy with conjuncts can always swing back and forth. Sometimes the conjunct can benefit one person and not the other, and vice versa. So that's, conjuncts can be real tricky. But even with us having both being Leo suns, his Uranus, because I talked about the aspect with his moon Uranus conjunct. I talked about that in my last video. His Pluto, moon, and Uranus sits in my 12th house. That is a no-go. I'm sorry, ladies. Let me tell y'all something. This is another red flag in synastry, ladies. Listen up, pay attention. If a man has 3 or more planets, especially the moon and the Venus, a couple of others too, but the moon and the Venus in your 12th house, or 3 or more planets in your 12th house, bitch, run. I'm not fucking asking. Run. That is a for you. That is a red flag. I cannot be with a man that has all this Libra planets, because it falls in my 12th house, and that is the house of your hidden enemies. So already right there, my head gonna be on a swivel dealing with a man like that. And then his Pluto, moon, and Uranus conjuncts my moon, and I'm not conjuncts. I said that wrong. His Pluto, moon, and Uranus squares my moon. Big red flag for me. I can say I can't be with a man like that. And then it squares my Mars. See, I would beat the fuck out of Dr. Umar. I could not be with that kind of man. I'm not set up to be with a man like this. Cause I will beat the fuck out of him. Cause the minute he come to me talking about he poly, he wanna be, and see with that moon next to Uranus, that Uranus gives that surprise element, that surprise aspect to his emotions. So he probably really flighty. He probably come home one day talking about he got another wife. He decided to take another wife. I will knock him clean upside his motherfucking. All right, y'all. Seriously, and let me get off of me and get back on this man. But that Mars squaring his Neptune. Let's talk about Neptune real quick. Neptune is the planet of deceit, lies, betrayal. Neptune also rules video, television, film, camera, corn. So it also is linked to Neptune, is that planet that makes things seem cloudy. It gives things that disillusionment as effect. It makes things cloudy. It puts like the rose colored glasses onto things. Neptune is also linked to isolated places like jails and hospitals, etc., etc. So and Neptune also rules, let me see what else, it rules a lot of different things. But with it squaring his Mars, you have to take the lower octave of the energy, okay? And so the Mars Squaring Neptune, that is my serial whacker aspect. Anytime I see a man that have that aspect, that tells it's a lot of different manifestations to this aspect, but most importantly and mainly it's somebody that could be a serial whacker, somebody that can be addicted to corn, somebody that they could be a scam artist, they can be a big liar. Now a lot of people, question his credentials as far as him being a doctor. So I don't know if he's a doctor or not. I don't know if he's a real doctor, if he's lying or faking it, but he could definitely be embellishing the fact that he's a real doctor. Whether he is or not, I don't know, but it's definitely indicated in his natal chart. So he could be lying about being a doctor. He could be embellishing it because Mars is our identity and Mars is our name. Catfishers is also linked to that aspect also. So if you somebody that can easily get catfished, or if you're a catfisher, chances are you have Mars square Neptune. So overall, Mars square Neptune gives somebody a very shady identity. This is somebody who can have a very shady identity. They never let their left hand know what their right hand doing. They're very sneaky. They move real slick. They move real sneaky. They move real grimy. They just, they definitely is somebody that walks around with a false sense of identity or false sense of self. Now let's talk about the Sun and Mercury aspect real quick. Now, Sun next to Mercury is definitely a really good aspect because the Sun and Mercury is in mutual reception of each other. Now, that aspect can give somebody that has the gift of gab, because Mercury rules communication and how we talk and how we speak, and it's next to the Sun. The Sun is linked to our identity, our ego, our sense of self, our soul essence, our soul purpose in this life. And with it being next to Mercury, he's definitely somebody that has the gift of gab. But again, it's squaring Neptune, so we have to look at the lower octave of that energy. So this can give somebody that has a warped or distorted sense of self, sense of identity. This can even create somebody that has like a God complex to themselves. I mean, honestly, I don't know which one is worse. They're all bad. The Sun squaring Neptune, Mercury squaring Neptune. That's somebody that's a liar. Somebody that just blows smoke up your ass. And then with the Mars squaring it, those 1, 2, 3 squaring Neptune, all of that is just a really really big red flag. And again, like I said earlier, if you are somebody that was to come to me, whether I knew you, I didn't know you, and you come to me with a dude's chart and I see this bullshit, I'm going to tell you to run. That is a deal breaker. That is a no-go. But people gonna do what they want to do. You have free will. You do what you want. Do what you will with this information. But this is about Dr. Umar, and this is definitely in his chart. This is definitely who he is. But even though this is about Dr. Umar, there are a lot of other men out there that has this aspect. And if you're a woman that has this aspect, you could be somebody that attract these kind of men too. So, this is, like I said, ladies, this is a deal breaker in a natal chart. And so I just wanted to point that out to you guys. So yeah, I have personally dealt with somebody that had this aspect. And let me tell you something, you got to be one of God's strongest soldiers to deal with somebody that has this aspect. Thank God I got away from this person. And I was not as versed in astrology then like I am now. But if I knew then what I knew if I knew back then, y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I'm getting tongue tied. If I knew back then what I know now. So I'm going to warn as many ladies. I'm going to save as many ladies as I can. You see that? Boom, boom, boom. It could be one of them or all three of them. Squaring Neptune. Girl, run for the hills. All right. I'm going to leave it here. Stay tuned for part 3. All right, y'all. So this is part 3 of Dr. Umar's natal chart breakdown. So I'm not going to break down. I'm not going over any more of his planets. I seen everything that I needed to see. again, let me repeat and give y'all, if you ain't seen the last two videos, go back and watch them. But either way, I don't care what order you watch me in, go and watch it. But that aspect right there, that Mars, Mercury, Sun squaring that Neptune, that is not a red flag. Not only is it a red flag, it is a deal breaker. I'm just gonna tell you now. Again, y'all do what y'all want to do, what you do, and who you deal with, who you choose. Cause some of y'all probably married to a motherfucker like this. Let's just be honest. Some of y'all in relationships with them, got babies with them, married to them. So I mean, it's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was married to somebody that had this shit in their chart. So I thank God I ain't married to him no more. But you might be with somebody with this shit in your chart. I'm gonna tell y'all that shit ain't, man, whew, you gotta be one of God's strongest soldiers to deal with somebody with this shit right here. This aspect alone, my baby. Right here, boom, 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 squaring that with that moon next to Uranus. You gotta be one of God's strongest soldiers to deal with somebody. I'm not equipped for it. Like I told y'all in my last video, if I was to deal with somebody, a man with this in his chart, because let me tell y'all something, ladies. Whatever a man have going on in his chart, whatever fucked up shit he got going on in his chart, when he get with you, what you think he gonna bring over into your chart? You think because you so beautiful and you so loving and you so caring and you so kind, and oh, I could change him and I can help him and I can fix him, and if I just do everything, you know how we like to be in competition. He got you know what you dealing with. You know what kind of man you dealing with, ladies. But for the pick me's out here, I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about the pick me's. But for the pick me's out here who think that they're their love can change a man, let me tell y'all something. You cannot love the toxicity out of a man. Let me repeat that for the ladies in the back. You cannot love the toxicity out of a man. And with that being said, y'all have free will. Y'all do what y'all want to do. You deal with whoever you want to deal with. But girls, looking out for girls. I'm telling y'all, this right here is a deal breaker. So do what you want with that information, and I'm all for that. Now I'm about to do I'm gonna clarify with my deck, y'all. All right, so I had asked if he was lying about the bank account, the whole debacle with the bank account, and him, asking people for money, or saying that, I forgot, y'all. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to quote the man right or wrong, but he said something about his bank account being. Anyway, it don't matter what he said. I asked if he was lying, and it says that the night of, y'all can see that, the night of wands. This is the knight of bones in my deck, but it's the knight of wands in tarot. And the knight of wands, this is the knight of wands in reverse. So what this tells me is he's not being completely honest about his situation. I feel like he's acting from a place of desperation, one, because this is a card in this position. This is a card of impulse, and this is a card of desperation, and this is somebody who's really, really flighty. So he could be into some really shady activity. And again, this lines up with his Mars squaring his Neptune. That card definitely lines up with his Mars squaring Neptune. So yeah, that's definitely fitting for the energy that's coming through for him. And then I asked what was the potential outcome for him. The Emperor in reverse. Oh, God bless it. Lord have mercy on my soul. So yeah, he's definitely hold on. And then I got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Four of Pentacles in reverse. So he could be going through some karma right now too, because I got that card. So I asked what was the potential outcome. And this is Pluto's energy. And Pluto's energy is about transformation, rebirth, depth, transformation. So he's definitely being exposed right now. He does come off as he does come off as a fraud. He does come off as somebody that can be low-key narcissistic. Honestly, I don't think that Dr. Umar is like he's not who And this is just from the energy that I'm reading here, and from the energy that I'm reading here. He's not who he says he is. He definitely comes off as a fraud. I mean, people probably already saw straight through him. And I'm gonna just say this too. I'm gonna be all the way honest with y'all. That school shit that he got going on, that school shit that he talking about, I feel like he need to just go and let that go with that Dr. Martin Luther King dream. I mean, he need to leave it there, all the way back there, because this man has literally been talking about that school since the beginning of the millennium. And I do mean literally since the beginning of the millennium, because I found out about Dr. Umar way back when dude did Hidden Colors. Y'all remember Hidden Colors? What's his name? I can't pronounce dude name. Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. That motherfucker who did Hidden Colors. When he was on there, when he was on featured on Hidden Colors, he was talking about that school all the way back then. And we still ain't got no school. We still ain't got no school. At this point in life, I feel like he needs to just go and let that go, and I feel like he needs to pivot. That's what I believe. But he's definitely, I feel like this situation that happened, I feel like this needed to happen. This definitely needed to happen, because this situation is going to force him to go within and reflect, and it's going to force him to go towards that north node, because at this point in his life he needs to go towards that north node. So he definitely is somebody that is called to be some type of guru or leader or mentor. That is definitely in him. He's definitely meant that. He does have a purpose, because he got Venus trining these two planets. So he definitely has a purpose to be like some type of mentor or guru or something like that. But that school shit, he need to let that go. And he need to repivot and do something else at this point in life, because what he's been doing is not working. He's not elevating. It's holding him back. Those old ways, that street ass shit that he doing, that scam shit that he doing, that whatever it is he's doing, whether it's scamming or whatever, it shit ain't working, and he need to change. The Four of Pentacles right here next to the Emperor, this means that old way of doing shit, that old way of thinking, or whatever he's holding, whatever value system that he have, whatever, this is that hustling attitude, that hustling mentality that he got, that shit coming from his dad, from his ancestors. Me personally, I believe in, like most of us, this some shit he bringing in from his past life. That old hustling, scamming ass mentality that he been holding on to, that he been trying to fool everybody with. He need to let that shit go, because it's not working for him. It's holding him back. It's hindering him from his true purpose, from going towards his north node. And this Pluto energy right here is just, this is just the universe's way of forcing him. Because let me tell you something about Pluto. Wherever Pluto touches, it forces it to change. So let me see where Pluto is in his chart. I'm not going to read that, because I don't know what house it's affecting, but he's having his Pluto square, because I see Pluto here and Pluto there, so he's definitely having his Pluto square. So this again, this is just confirming that energy right there. This is just the universe's way. For one, he's getting karma. Two, he's being exposed. Three, this is just the universe's way of forcing him to go through a transformation, to let go outdated thinking, outdated way of doing things, and do something different, do something new. And like I said, with that school, he needs to let that go and do something different. So yeah, that's all I got, y'all. I'm not about to do a part 4. This is it. It's going on 10 minutes. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Let me know what y'all think. I hope y'all watched all 3. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel. Give me your feedback. All right, y'all. And I'm going to leave it here. All right. And until next time, deuces.